is RachaelAndersen, and I'm a volunteer based in Santa Cruz called Save Our Shores. And one of the many things Save Our Shores does is they try to raise awareness about how to keep the oceans clean, and they host monthly cleanups as well. And this year, during their biggest cleanup, they brought in over 3,000 volunteers all over Santa Cruz to help clean up 10,000 pounds of trash, 4,000 pounds of recyclables in under 3 hours. Many types of animals, such as dolphins, sea turtles, sea lions, and fish can get caught and tangled in marine debris. And when they're caught in marine debris, they can often die because they can't swim or breathe. First, can anyone guess what pollution might be?
Come on up.
Yeah, it's just garbage that's on the land or in the ocean, or any harmful substances too. And when they get on the beaches, they're even closer, so they get washed in just like that. And different types of pollution takes different types of time to break down. Like a newspaper can take 4 to 6 weeks to break down. A cotton towel can take 6 months to break down. And a tin can can take 50 years to break down. And an aluminum can take 80 to 200 years to break down. And cigarette butts can take 1 to 5 years to break down. This is the most common item of trash found on beaches worldwide. Can anyone guess how long it might take for a plastic bag to break down?
1 to 2 years?
They never really do, but they break down in about 10 to 20 years. That's fine.
So they separate apart.
Yeah, when they're no longer visible. And it's always a good idea to try to take reusable plastic bags with you when you go into grocery stores.
There's also Trader Joe's too.
That way you don't have to use paper or plastic bags, and that way they might not end up in the ocean. It can also be fun to try to make your own too. And can anyone guess how long it might take for a plastic bottle to break down? It can take 450 years for a plastic bottle to break down, but plastic never really goes away. It just breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces. It's not biodegradable. So even when it's microscopic, it's still there. There's a place called the North Pacific Gyre right now in the North Pacific. And what it is where all the currents from this side of the world form a giant whirlpool, and that's where all the trash ends up. And it's currently 3 times the size of Texas, and it's right in the middle of Hawaii. And the water there is just like sludge because of all the plastics. And seagulls and albatrosses fish near the surface of the water, so when they find things like plastic silverware, bottle caps, or cigarette lighters, they'll think they're food, and so they'll eat them, and they can actually starve to death because they don't feel hungry. So this is our watershed model. A watershed is basically just a land area that includes all the mountains, rivers, and oceans. And the oceans receive runoff waters from land. And runoff water is just leftover rainwater that doesn't soak up into the ocean. The earth can at first absorb all the water like a sponge, but after a while, the earth gets full of water, so it doesn't have anywhere to go but the ocean. There's 2 main sources of pollution. There's point source pollution, which means we generally know where the pollution will come from, like toxic waste plants or an oil spill. And then there's non-point source pollution, which means we don't know where it's coming from. That can mean someone dropping trash on a walk or in a park, oil that spills onto roads, or trash that blows out of a garbage can. That's the main source of pollution that will be seen in this watershed demonstration. What can you notice about the water? It's full of animals and it's nice and clean. But there's many ways that the water can become polluted, and that often often starts in our very own homes. Like trash that blows out of garbage cans, heavy soaps and fertilizers that we use on our dishes and cars, or that we use for our plants and gardens. And it might sound funny, but here in the Monterey Bay especially, cat litter has been a big problem in these past years, because if cat litter gets flushed down the toilet, or if it goes down a storm drain, they don't get any water treatment whatsoever. And cat litter can contain a harmful parasite, which after it gets flushed down the toilet, it flows right into the bay. And then it gets into the otter's favorite food, urchins and clams. When the otter eats this parasite, it kills the otter, when our otter population is already in danger. And then there's a lot of trash in beaches and parks, people on picnics or going on walks. And then there's a lot of trash in schoolyards too, because kids sometimes forget to throw it away or put it in garbage cans once they're done eating lunch. And something that's a big problem anywhere there's a road is oil. Because oil is not biodegradable and it's very harmful to marine life, land, and water supplies. And something that's a big problem here in Watsonville and Monterey is all the agriculture, because all the farms use harmful chemicals and pesticides on their plants that can get washed down into the ocean. Now, on their own, these aren't totally big problems. But then winter comes. And remember, after a while, the earth can't soak up any more water. That's when rain becomes runoff. And unfortunately, all the trash is going to get carried with the runoff water down to the lowest point of any watershed, the ocean. Now what do you notice about the ocean?
It's really dirty. Ugly.
It's dirty and it's not pretty. And how do you think the marine life likes to live in all this water? They're not going to want to live in that water, and it can be dangerous for people to swim in too. You wouldn't want to go swimming in that water. It would be kind of gross if you accidentally swallowed some too. What about all the fish we eat? All the fish in markets and stores right now are coming out of the ocean. You wouldn't want to eat the fish if it came out of an ocean looking like this, because you wouldn't want to